the United States has struck several Iranian islands and port cities along the country's southern coast. The attacks have revived a question that has followed the war for months. Is Washington preparing to seize Iranian territory? US forces have recently targeted Qeshm, Kish and Abu Musa islands as well as Bandar Abbas, a major port overlooking the Strait of Hormuz. Speculations about a ground operation first emerged in March, when US officials reportedly said the Pentagon was preparing for a possible raids on Kharg Island, the terminal through which most of Iran's crude oil exports pass. The prospect appeared to recede after a memorandum of understanding was signed in June. But President Donald Trump has now refused to rule out taking an Iranian island, telling Fox News that revealing his intentions would be foolish. So could the United States actually do it? Militarily, yes. The US has tens of thousands of troops across the Middle East, along with the aircraft, warships, and amphibious forces needed to capture a small island. But taking territory is easier than holding it. A limited operation could require between 5,000 and 10,000 personnel once combat troops, air defenses, engineers, medical teams, and supply units are included. That number could rise sharply if Washington targeted several islands or tried to maintain a long-term presence. Qeshm would be particularly difficult. It is large, heavily populated, and sits immediately off the Iranian mainland. Even smaller islands would remain within range of Iranian missiles, drones, artillery, and fast attack boats. Iran would not necessarily need to retake them. It could instead subject American forces to persistent attacks, turning the island into exposed and expensive military outposts. Supplying those troops would require constant naval protection and air cover across waters threatened by mines, missiles, and drones. An operation presented as a way to protect shipping could therefore become an open-ended territorial commitment. Iran's geography creates another problem. Its ability to threaten the Strait of Hormuz does not depend on controlling the islands alone. Many of its missile batteries, drone sites, radar systems, and command centers are mobile, concealed, or based on the mainland. US airstrikes might temporarily suppress those defenses, but keeping them disabled would require a sustained bombing campaign. To fully prevent Iran from disrupting shipping, Washington could ultimately have to attack or occupy a much broader section of the southern coastline. At that time, the operation would no longer be a raid on an island. It would risk becoming a ground war with Iran. Seizing territory could also produce the opposite of its stated objective. Iran could respond by laying more mines, attacking commercial vessels, and striking US bases or energy infrastructure across the Gulf. Shipping companies would probably continue avoiding the Strait of Hormuz, while insurance costs would rise and mine-clearing operations could take months. Gulf states may want commercial traffic restored, but they also are wary of being used as staging grounds for occupation that could make them Iranian targets. There would be political costs inside the United States as well. A campaign involving American casualties and an indefinite military deployment would invite comparisons with Iraq and could anger parts of Trump's own political base that oppose another large Middle Eastern war. That is why analysts remain skeptical. The United States has the military power to seize an Iranian island. The harder question is whether it could hold that territory, keep forces supplied, and extract any lasting strategic benefit. A dramatic landing might project strength, but it could also transform war over shipping and regional power into a direct territorial conflict and pull Washington into a much larger war it may be trying to avoid. For more such explainers, subscribe to DawnNews English.